discuss about accountability and the local government commissions, and principally citing on KMC, the hearings on KMC, and the executive interests in this matter. And as we always say, accountability matters. Accountability matters in a sense that anything that will help us to hold authorities to account, or ourselves to account, institutions to account, are important. These are that this I mean accountability make our society just. Accountability make our society to progress. Be that being the case, there are many elements or instruments of accountability we have to try and apply in order for us to get there. And the reason saying this is, at times you might say, "Oh, let me just give up," or "There's no point into me holding to this aspect of accountability because that part of that there are other issues going on there, and those issues might be greater than this one." Regardless of where the issues are happening, you do your best to hold the systems accountable, regardless of where it is. You don't measure your participation, your efforts, based on that, or how much you're going to impact, thinking that you are going to resolve the problem. No, accountability is an ongoing process. Hence we are here, or once we are here, we are in existence. We are evolving. We have to continue the measures of accountability. It becomes easier. It becomes more difficult. Just as now it's easier to hold systems and governments accountable to social media and others, because then social media do pose other challenges and give other opportunities for the perpetrators of these crimes, or to fool us or to continue doing what they do. And that's why, again, to understand, at times mere discussions are important. Discussing the matters are important. Mere discussion matters are important, because what it does is we take it into records. Once we talk about it, or nothing will come out of, no, it's already held in records. And nowadays, things can be held in records for a longer time, and it can always come relevant where needed. This is important to note. But again, if we understand the powers we have, if we understand the influence we have, if we work together, we can impact, and we can bring about change through accountability. And all form of change comes through what? Holding system accountable, holding yourself accountable, and it will happen. Now, the local government commissions, I'll start to introduce this by talking about my initial position of this local government this thing, which many people share, that it was a witch hunt. It was a selective form of justice. It was something the executive have designed in order to go after the opposition, which is a fact. It's still a fact, and evidences are even dropping down than ever. But regardless that the state or the executive is using it as an instrument of selective justice, or trying to build a leverage against the opposition or people that they oppose to them, does not mean that it's not significant and we should not support it and we should not participate in it. No. We should make sure it goes through the processes, and make sure it's part of what add to our progress. Now, that was my initial positions, and I don't want to spend time on this. But during the course of things, it developed. And developing is, when we had our initial suspicions, and based on what the history, based on records, that Barrow doesn't care about accountability, his government doesn't care about accountability, and even the people he selected or appointed to the commission and everything else, we went against. As I keep on saying, we is people, myself and people I believe share the same opinion. We pointed this out. Not that we were against accountability. We were against the selective justice and the timing of it. it was about local government elections. But it was not only for local government elections, it's for long term, but short term, it was going to benefit the local government process. And now it continued. The interest of the government is to hold certain leaders of the opposition within local government accountable. But when we know that the operationality of the councils are mainly of individuals who are appointed by the executive or who are under the executive influence. Now, this is why it's interesting. When we dive into this, we can differentiate. I am not going into details into the operational matters. I am going into details into the leadership matters because it's very important in this sense and to do that. And we can have time and go into the operational matters when the reports are produced and we can discuss the other bits. Then it developed, and as we said, the developments, they started from Basse. We had, we had stuff that we suspected, but at times, in fact, I can tell you, many people were shocked that it got to that level. That how the local government were run. But again, the opportunity, there's so many good things that came out from this process. It's the realization of the amount of resources we have in our dispensation. And I always supported this, I always believe in this, that we can develop sustainably without solely solely or principally relying on a kind of a development process that's expecting grants, or loans from FAR or other interest groups. This is something else we do. From Basse, coming to down to the McCarthy's and others, we have seen the nepotism, we have the corruption, we have in procurement, in disregarding due process and everything of sort, the abuse of power, from the chairpersons to the administrators, how they run this municipalities and the resources that they got away with. No wonder the local governments are not developing. But we all know that this mirrored to what central government does. But coming to it again, but it became very more interesting when we came to the bigger, more influential, I think the volume, Ablage, can you check on your side? Yeah, people are saying I'm loud and clear. Ablage, check on your side, please. I'll try and get the mic close anyway. Now, what I'm saying is the evidence. And I don't, sorry guys, this is why I don't read comments. I become distracted. As it gets to Birkama, thank you. As we got to Birkama, we realized how much resources and the poor governance of the local governance, because we all know that even they have not even tapped half a quarter of the resources in their disposal. But what did they do with that? It's just crazy. And we saw the setup of how many families take over the entire administration to do whatever they want. We see the incompetency of chairpersons. We saw all that. We come into the realization now, probably second the biggest, I don't know economic wise, but second biggest in population size to BAC. And we are going to go to BCC, which is smaller in both economy and population compared to the other two municipalities, as you said. It becomes very more interesting. As we said, where much is given, much is expected. Where much is given, much is expected. And again, it becomes very interesting of the chairperson, the mayors. This is the time actually we have two mayors involved in the accountability process. Mayor Rohim Maliglo of Banjul, and Mayor Talib Bensouda of KMC. But because Yanks Dabo was not there when these audit reports were generated and the commission are covering. But again, the person who was there, a chairperson, was somebody sympathetic to the, or part of the NPP actually. But this is the time now we have seen real evidence coming out there of the KMC on opposition, and two of them, in fact, aspiring for leadership to lead the country. This is another point that I am citing. That's why, again, I am more motivated to look into the leadership of this municipality on accountability. It's not cherry picking and talking about here and there. I want to construct it well to bring out what explore it more for people to see it in totality, what local government represents and what accountability represents, and how these people performed in their positions. The commissions itself, we have seen the evidence, or some people have noticed the deliberations, just as we noticed from the TRRC, the selective approach of who is before them, or which council they're dealing with. I mean, it's not a surprise. We saw now the interest the commission have on KMC, which is obviously because of its Talib Bensouda. This is one of their what do you call this? This is one of their tasks to prove. You see, that's why I am in support of the accountability process, because it's not about smearing. It's about, again, they have to prove it. They have to, they have to go through digging for it to come, because they are relying their investigations on audit reports, which was done independently by the National Audit Office, which we all support all the time now. Whenever a report comes for the National Audit Office, we are in support of it. That's why it's very important, but that's the, to point out that the commission is not without bias. And if you understand commission of inquiry, always the executive have a region of operating a commission in order for an outcome. That's why I'm not a fan of commissions, because that's what they normally created for. And but before diving into the specifics on KMC, I want to return back to the position of giving a background to why this commission of inquiry, and I'll try and point to evidence of other factors that we are all seeing relating to the motive, the interest. That's why I said the interest of the executive. They, some people have raised, or many people have raised, the commission is a witch hunt for the local government elections. No, short time it was for the local government election, but long time is for the entrainment program of President Barrow, or for the NPP. Okay, why I say President Barrow and the NPP more is either President Barrow as a candidate or NPP as a party, an interest he will have to see an NPP government continue in order to save himself. Now, this is a strategy of consolidation for a third time now. I've made this explanation many times, that finally we have come to until Gambians would say to President Barrow, stop, walk back. We have come to a point of realization for President Barrow that a transition, succession planning, it's not an easy operations, especially when you are in deficit of good governance. Now he have gone through the circle of whatever considerations, and he cannot find a candidate that can unify his political interests, because I don't call it a political party. He cannot find a candidate he will trust, to unify his political interests and win an election. Because why I say political interest, there are interest groups with him. There are interest groups of former UDP guys in there, which they class as a Mandinka group. There's an interest group of Ahmad Ba and other people they class as the Fuller hegemony. There's an interest group of Mossad Frame and other people they term as the Sarahul hegemony. There's an interest group of Mohammed Jah and others they term as the Banyan hegemony, or some people call it the wall of hegemony, and so on and so forth. And the person that he was relying on, I mean, initially, backing on it, and this is why that's what the problem was so who could have sorry, and there's another hegemony on called the NP of the APRC hegemony with Sidinjai and others. But he was banking on So General, not General, Director General So of SIS, who would have unified all these hegemonies and able to be trusted. The trust bit is a very big thing there, and he couldn't find it. Now he have to push through. Now, what I am pointing out as evidence is, and not only about the local government commissions, but even the approach to the IEC, even to the approach of going after the IEC. I'm not going to go deep into all this. It's just I'm going to cite it, but we are subsequently going to do programs on this. And inshallah on Saturday I'm doing an interview with Alaji Salu. We are going to touch on the IEC and on Askani Gambia, a new platform called Askani Gambia. Now, with the IEC, this is the point now. What they have created, and again I support the accountability for IEC, but he have exposed the IEC for what it is. But the reason why he would go after the IEC, because it's selective. Because all this coming, for his accountability is always selective. There are so many other, audit reports that he will not go for. Now, but main point now is to get rid of the entire IEC, because now it cannot be justified unless Gambians, unless Gambians will be sleeping, unless the opposition will be sleeping now to accept this IEC to stay. But unless Gambians who are sleeping to allow Barrow to select or to appoint the entire IEC again. Because, okay, for reasons that, as I always said, the elections were stolen. Now, things have gotten really bad that these people are not hungry more because they were induced for that to happen. They didn't do it because of they hate the opposition. They were induced. They have an interest. They are not that hungry for what next Barrow want to do. Because Barrow would even have to do the worst this time round, because he's less popular now than anything else. Now that's why he's going for this. But as I said, we're going to discuss that. But if you listen to the statements that Barrow is, the statements at Makamakunda, you will realize that he is like starting the campaign now. That's why I always tell the opposition that elections are not stolen at the time of voting. It starts from very early. It's not only about the registration. No. It's about so many other things. It's about even the communication strategy to divide the opposition, to divide majority of Gambians, in order to identify the main challenger for now, which is UDP, and then concentrate their fire on that, and that's this thing. There are so many factors that they have to work, and you can see that the message from Makamakunda, that's what they're working on the obsession on, oh, it's me and Dabo, or it's me and UDP, as Gambians on. The rest of the Gambians who are not part of UDP will not listen. No, that's the beginning. Then next, they can have their way on that. But another the other bit at Makamakunda is, which it's important to note here. We saw the last time with the hippo. This time with the camel. And if Gambians watch carefully, he said that the camel was given as a gift, just as the hippo was given as a gift. You see, and you ask yourself, why even bringing this on camera? I think it's an obsession of wanting people to know. No, I think he's doing it for people to know, to realize. He's sending a message for Gambians to realize that, oh, because again, it's working on our mindset. Hey, Barrow, because of he's the president, he have all the marabouts. I can tell you a story here. As children, we have never seen an evidence of Sadauda dealing with marabouts. We have never seen evidence, apart from his protocols of wherever he goes. If he goes to Bansang, he will meet the Imam, so on. If he goes to Walade, he will meet the, the Imams and go into orders, but not like we all know the past presidents. But if you watch the congregation there, this guy, I don't know who he is, but if you look at the paperwork he's got, looks like he is either the Taliban of the big Marabu or he is the big Marabu. His presence there and his focus, and you can see the video going after Barrow and the video going straight onto him. You see, they are doing all this deliberately. But again, apart from that, if you watch what's happening in Makamba Kunda, for one reason, I don't know where the first lady is. I don't know where the first lady is. The second lady is busy receiving people. I don't know whether the first lady is in the Gambia or not in the Gambia, whether in Makamba Kunda or not. But for a while, I've not seen him. Probably other people have seen him. But in most of the events, the second lady would be the one there. I don't know whether it's right to call her second lady. But I'm referring to Sadio Barrow, Sadio Mbalo. And in that sittings, something interesting as receiving, because apparently from NPP sources, they're saying that because of the first lady is perceived as arrogant or looking down onto party supporters. Now Barrow is trying to promote Sadio Mbalo in a sense of being the grassroots wife or whatever they say. But again, this is all working onto try to get onto their base. The other statement you will look at is the statement of Modu Sabali, talking about that rubbish of, Barrow even go for 4 terms, or Paul Kagame and all those comparisons. Watch this out and watch what the drummer, what's his drummer name? The former drummer, the presidential advisor, Dusano. Soon you will hear a million-man march or whatever march for Barrow that time. Because this is how they think. You will soon hear about Barrow march for Barrow that time, NPP march for Barrow that time. Because what they're trying to do is to force. Remember, Macky Sall left it too late. He was quite left it too late. Now Barrow is being advised. I'm telling you this, a fact. Barrow in advance, you have to bring it forward now, because hence you want to be a candidate, you have to bring it forward, so that we can cross it well before. If we fail, if the Gambians stop you, then we test an alternative. That's why they're trying to do it. Push it. That's why they're trying to push it now as they come. Now, watch out for that million march or whatever they're gonna call it, Barrow for third term or anything they're gonna call it. This is something they're gonna work on, and I'm not gonna name names, but I know there are many of them desperate, because money is not moving as it was moving during the 3 years Jotna, because of the 3 years Jotna, money was moving. They were trying to counter that, and the election came, money was moving. But since the cycle of election ends, money is not moving, and most of them are desperate for money, and this is where they're gonna go looking for the money to go and come and say, we have to push and support Barrow for this. This is going to come. Now, the other thing is, that MP from NPP, Gibi Mbalo, saying that he's going to contest. Don't be fooled with that. He's going to contest against how to call it? Against Barrow. Don't be fooled with that. That's another sense of legitimizing, because what they want to do is to legitimize people to not to discourse about illegitimate means that Barrow is. They want to rest it on the Constitution, not the spirit of democracy, not the or the arguments that we can bring forward. They are pushing it to drown us, and then we will accept the candidature of Barrow. Now, this Jibimbalo, whatever he's doing, it's just a farce. It's just a farce. Now, if we accept all these things, this as kind of a system of legitimizing it. But again, the reaction of Barrow to the press, and I can tell you, look forward. They will try to intimidate the independent press. They will try to buy more people. They will try so many other things in order to stop, any opposition to Barrow's, how to call it, into Barrow's candidature. They will try everything possible in order. A campaign, they will use the PR, they will start everything. But this is why Barrow was really infuriated. Barrow was really infuriated about the succession plan. And again, Barrow is infuriated because of he's got intel. I'm not sure how true it is that someone put it out there to the press. That's what I can say. He's suspecting that it's within NPP who are trying to use the press in order to bring their candidate in. Now, that's why he is trying to send a message to stop the things of talking about the succession plan. But finally, if you watch out, the recruitment of the police, recruitment of the army, they are doing something very dangerous. Yaya Jammeh used to do. Something of bringing out list of people from their constituents. These are not only people from our constituents, it's an extension of their families they bring into the security forces. And if you understand, just as the latter part, many people were recruited based only to the loyalty of Jammeh. This is now what they're trying to impose. The loyalty of NPP, loyalty of Barrow. And this is in order to have enough police, because of it's going to be the police force, in order to sustain any form of push coming from the people and the opposition. If you realize I'm showing the people and the opposition, this is not an opposition problem. Opposition is just a representative of the political parties, but they are not entirely. All Gambians have an interest to this, and it's a duty to make sure our democracy is sustained. This is all evidence is pointing to that to support the local government is just one instrument, but there are so many instruments. That's why we should be very careful how we approach this, and we should make sure we look at this and look at the interests of our country, and let this not be a partisan issue. Let this not be any other issue which Barrow would like to make it. Now, why did I went there last? Now, if you realize the statement from Barrow, he's using the local government commission to say that the poor performance, the corruption, everything that's running there is by the opposition. And if he said the opposition, he means, no, actually, he did not say the opposition, he said by UDP and Lawyer Dabo, who is controlling them. He's trying to build something to say that I am like, he's not denying that my government is corrupt, but I am as corrupt as UDP. Because for him, he have realized, or he believes that UDP would be the only opposition that can dislodge him. Now, if I measure up only to the UDP and to make sure turn them as even my character would not matter. All I have to do next is to get the rest of Gambians to be against the UDP, even they are not in for me, but let them be against the UDP. Because if those people are not in for him and against UDP, those people will do anything to make sure that the UDP will not win an election. Or if even the UDP wins an election, the UDP cannot claim the elections. I keep on saying this to people that it's not about winning the votes alone. If you are in a developing democracy in any country, what matters is you have to be able to assert that influence and the reality that in the event of you win elections, this the incumbent have to concede. That is very important in any planning that you do. Now, this is what he's trying to do. That's why you see people that supports living will try to say, oh, corruption is everywhere. Corruption is even in Europe. Corruption is everywhere. Or they make the argument. They'll make the argument about UDP. Argument is not about the a government alone. No, it's about it's about UDP. Or they are all the same. This is what narrative he wants. But this is not new. This is not something they invented. This is, it's been practiced in almost every country. But that's where always undecided voters, people who don't belong to political party, independent voters matters. That's why they sway. That's why political party will try to broaden their base, or they rely on the undecided, or to convince the undecided to come over so that they can win elections. You see, because if they play that, what it does, it bring it voter apathy and other, tactical voting in other sense and orders to go on. Now, to come on to the point, I'll try and keep this brief. On the specifics on KMC and the holding of BCC accountable, I shall explain on this. Since the local government commission going, I am very selective in my approach for strategic reason. I do it to be effective as possible because it's not my full-time job. I have a limited time to be on screen, limited time to develop articles, because I don't only come and pour what I think on a paper. I have to develop, investigate things to put it in. It's time consuming, but I have so much else in my life to do. Then what the time I have to take, I have to really be strategic. I have not been following, I did follow, but I said keenly following in order to produce a program on the local government commissions. I think until they got to Birkama. And Birkama, to the region I was, it was when the tension heightened. It's not because of the figures being called out. It was in the interference. Even though the commissions was there, but the interference of the executive in the new authority, the chairman, the new chairman, Young's trying to manage the risk when he was trying to push the executive and the accountant and to to grab the issues so that he can do something. And the executive, pushing out there. That's the only time I can remember I advocate for the local government commissions. I just, monitor and went on and concentrate on other factors. But it has come to very, very, very critical moments now. That's why I said I will try by all means. It's not the specific of the people, but the councils as that much as the leaderships that I will be holding more accountable. As I said, who more is given, more is expected, or something of sort. My approach here will be citing few testimonies, and these testimonies are really damaging for Mayor Talib Bensouda. They are really damaging for Mayor Talib Bensouda. And by looking at this, I am not exclusively pointing to the guilt of Mayor Talib Bensouda, but I'm pointing to the evidence against him. We'll be waiting. I don't think I'll cover anything more, but I'll monitor. I'll be waiting for other major ones and for Mayor Talib Bensouda to testify at the commissions. And I'll give you a reason for this. I'll give you a reason for this. The same as we see the evidence, something I left earlier. The manner the commission have proactively suspended the 17 people or so at the BCC of trying to find out what really warranted that action. Apparently, it's to do with loans given to people not authorized or whatever it is, which, looking at what happened at BCC, BAC, Birkama, or McCarthy or Bassett, why people are not suspended, why people are not sent home by the same commission, but in Banjul. And that's the interest there. That's why I said we'll have to really spend more time on this and look at it. My approach would be leadership in this accountability, space of accountability. As I said, so far, the testimonies which I'm going to go through are damaging, and I'm going to cite where they are really damaging to the leadership of Mayor Talib Bensouda. Because there was so much expectation, to the extent people logically saying that no, most of the things that's going to happen will be coming from people who are actually appointed by government. This is what many people believe, because they trust that he's smart. The word smart is very important to note here. They thought that he is, how to call it, a leader with integrity, and he's going to do the things right. Now, if we go on to, let me take, for example, the Councillor ML Habib Sisi, who is for Joshua and Ibo Town. Just a minute, I need to go to the, I've got a transcript. Oh. I've got a transcript from online about on this thing, and I've listened to the these things. I'm going through the transcript. This is the testimony for 22nd October 2024. The local government commissions of inquiry on Tuesday witnessed the dramatic admission from Councillor Habib Sise of New Josang Ibo Town. The councillor admitted to giving false information during the investigation into appointments at Kanifing Municipal Council. Sise, who also served as the head of KMC Establishment and Appointment Committee, had been under scrutiny for discrepancies in his statement to investigators. Now, this is why the reason I start with him is very important, because we are going to discuss things about appointments and so forth, and mainly, in fact. And he, being part of the establishment, who served as the chair, as head they said, but the chair of the establishment and appointment committee, his testimony is crucial in what we are going to look at. And according to the paper, he said the controversy arose when Sise, who initially stated in written statement, a written submission that the Lord Mayor Talib Bensouda presented several appointments to the council's establishment and appointment committee, later attempted to retract the mayoral involvement during the commission's hearing. And by giving an excuse, I made a mistake and I wish to change my statement to remove the mayor name, he said when questioned by lead counsel Patrick Gomez. Now, as head chair, he said in his submission statement that he have taken a lots of names from the mayor for consideration for this appointment. That's what was his statement. And coming to testify, now he want to retract, to say want to take the mayor out. As I said, we'll have to leave the space when the mayor come to defend this. But from his admission, from what he have admitted and the behavior he have in trying to retract, this is not a kind of a statement, or you might just forget something or include something. This is something that have practically would have happened for you to say it. It's not something that you overheard. Oh, I thought someone said this to me. No, you are telling us something that you have interaction you have, and a statement, a very important statement that you are to write. I mean, you should be obvious of that. But it continued to say, Gomez pointed out that Cisse's statement to the investigation clearly indicated he vividly remembered the appointments being presented the appointments being presented by the mayor during the Force Committee meeting. During the Force Committee, the written statement submitted by Cisse explicitly mentioned that certain appointees, you see, he in fact mentioned certain appointees, including Nuruddin Adams and Aisha Tufal, were given positions without job advertisement or proper qualifications, a claim Cisse initially upheld before his position. Cisse made this statement. And it continued to say, when pressed by Gomez about the reason for changing, Cisse cited the absence of an oath when he initially gave the statement. I was not aware that giving a false statement to a public officer is a crime, he said, prompting Gomez to read the criminal code, highlighting that knowingly provide false information to public officers is indeed a punishable offense under Section 114. Now, even to say that I said it, at that time, I didn't take an oath. It's not about looking at him as incredible. It's a matter of trying to look for an excuse to retract something. Because at that time, does he have any motive to lie? What's motive to lie about something that's, specifically about that? He didn't advance for motive to lie, but this is motive to lie that I didn't know that it's an offense. The questions are, not knowing the offense, did you lie about it before or not? But he further further complicated the situation by Cisse inconsistent account regarding audit findings. The commission asked him about the 2020 National Audit Report on the KMC, which raised concerns over financial management. Cisse claimed he had not seen the audit report or been informed of any issues concerning him, despite admitting to receiving financial assistance from the Council for Medical Expenses. These are things that really needed to be noted. He went additionally. The councillor disclosed that he participated in an ad hoc committee formed to ensure revenue collection across the council constituencies. The committee, which included other councillors, reportedly received 260,000 each for 24 days of work, raising questions about the council financial oversight, Cisse lack of clarity on the details and absence of any record or reports from the exercise further fueling the commission concerns. This is very damning. This is very damning. For a council struggling financially, or council that have people within your borough or your municipality struggling, a council that have a municipality that have lots of development needs, what would justify councillors be paid, be rewarded 260,000? How many times is it their monthly salary for councillors? For them to earn 260,000, something they done for 24 days. And this is part of their, it would be part of, should be part of their duties. Why? Why is it this form of bribery? We have to look at it very critically. And that's why it would be important for Talib to explain how did he not override this form of abuse of finance. This is a complete abuse of finance. And in fact, to say that technically the committee did not come out with the goods. If they have contracted consultant to carry out the job, how much would it cost? Would have been more credible coming from a consultant than them. This is damning. And it continues to say the commission chairman, Jaina Baba, ordered CCA to produce documents by 24th October 2024 specific regarding the appointments and his committee recommendations. The inquiry will resume, and that's what he said. Looking at that, as I said, the main thing to establish here is the employment committee, whatever you call it, establishment and employment committee. And this is the chair, and the statements made by this chair. And this will lead us to look at the other appointments and some financial implications in these appointments. The second one I'm looking at is the deliberation on Isa to file. Again, let me stress this. I'm stressing more on the leadership. And if I say the leadership, Talib as a political leader of the, chairman of the council, but obviously the HR, the other, the local government, whatever they call them, and others, which we have held accountable before. But let's just look at what would have transpired here. This one is the Local Government Commission Commission of Inquiries establishing investigation into the finances which the 17th of October. The testimony from Aisha Fal, the former public relations manager of Kanifing Municipal Council. Her testimony raising questions about her employment process, qualification, responsibility during the tenure. It reads, a controversial appointment. Fal, who serves as the PR manager from June 2028, began by narrating how she secured the position. She explained that she had worked with Mayor Talib Bensouda before his election, and followed his victory, she expressed her interest in joining the council. According to Fal, she approached the human resource unit to inquire about vacancies, positions, and apply for the role of PR manager. This is where I said, when I introduced, I said, some of us thought that Talib was very smart. You see, in politics, you have, the politicians will always have a vested interest, but they should always make their vested interest does not collide with the greater good with the greater good, let's put it that way. In this case, that you work with someone, you like them for whatever reason, their professionalism and anything else, but again, there should be a process followed, just as anybody else. These appointments as PR and others, in most cases, wherever you go, would be someone that you want to work with, or known to work with or something of such. But it should not reduce it to, in a way that it affects the organization. It should not go to the extent of not being done properly. The due process should be followed. Being advertised, giving other people the opportunity, going through the competent interviews, putting up metrics to see who come out best, and take it. It's not to the favor of even the person here who I said for Talib to give her that job. It's not a favor for her. That's so good for her. For many reasons we will look at. Now, the controversy would not have happened if Talib was smart enough and courageous enough and sincere to what he calls up to say that, sorry, the position required certain, look, qualifications in order to do it. It stated that this is what is required to do this job. I know you, I know your ability, but it have to go through a process. I can support you to apply for another job or the opportunity. Look for the other opportunity to apply or support you to go and develop yourself or that or that. Experience matters. You see, this is not about that the lady is not educated. It's not that. But it's a requirement. It's a due process. If a due process said that it has to be this, it has to be that. The due process did not say it has to be this or that. And again, as I said, education is not only about the qualification, accredited to the person. People can be very educated whilst they don't hold certificates or this thing because of their experience at the time of this thing. But if you review the statement made by the lady herself, that's not enough. I don't think the places she have worked, a presenter on this is enough to be a PR for the population of KMC. And this is something, honestly, Talib would have known before the appointment. But again, it's not only by knowing or what not to judge his judgment in that, but not following the due process. Now, let's continue on to this. However, discrepancies emerge when lead counsel Patrick Gomez questioned the timeline of her appointment. FAL confirmed that her appointment was submitted. Her appointment was submitted on June 7, 2018. So June 7, 2018, and the offer of appointment was issued to this on the same day. Where's the interview process? Where are other people who are applied? How did they? When was the vacancy open for people to apply? When was the application this thing closed? There's a paper. There should be paper trail for all this. You cannot apply. In a public, sector, applied and just be given the job the same day, regardless of how competent you are. Even if they have to follow the due process, if you are headhunted, and headhunting again, let us not misconstrue that. Headhunting is someone who, you cannot deny that person's qualification, experience, fitting to the job, but even that have to go through certain processes. Not entirely the whole process, but probably they'll skip certain processes, but they'll have to go, they will have to go, be measured at least so that it can be established, because it's important for transparency, accountability reasons. And it continued to say, Gomez pointed out the inconsistency between her verbal testimony and the document evidence, suggesting that the shift appointment was highly unusual and potentially suspicious. FAL responded by stating that any clarification regarding the timeline should come from HR manager Dembo Ja, who conducted her interview. Again, this is the point. Why I am so emphasizes on the leadership, just as I always emphasize, people say, oh, you picking on Barrow, you picking on Barrow. No. Every issue I pick on, there's a good reason for it. Just as when I look at certain institutions, I hold the MD, I'll go for the oversight institution, the board. As if I hold the minister, I go for Barrow. And in most cases, if I go for Barrow, because most cases I go for Barrow have an influence or interest in it. That's what people don't understand. That's why those audit reports, Barrow will never touch them, because it will get to him. In this case, you see, leadership matters, because the leadership can influence without any document evidence leading to them. Virtue that they are the leader and they wanted something, then the subordinates would then the subordinate will do it, be the HR, be the finance and others. And once you owe them that favor, the institution is bankrupt because you have undermined accountability. Now, those people have hold something, just as they said, this atu. They have hold something on you. Their misbehaviors, you cannot police because they have already given you something. That's why it's up to the leader to be above board. You don't allow that your subordinates. Yes, the HR have to be held accountable because of regardless of who is above there, at this level you are responsible. It's your recommendation that should guarantee the job being given to someone. The process of your metrics that you develop to say these are the metrics are, I've considered, I sublisted 3 of them. And these 3 I sublisted, I prefer that to the point of view because of the gender. Yes. Yes. It's not a discrimination. Don't appreciate the gender. I think she's more suited for this job or whatever it is. But for qualifications, for experience, for this and for that, this is the score point. And that goes to file. That's why whenever it's questioned, you just pull it out. This is what we went through. But you cannot apply for a job the same day and get it because then the process has not been followed. If the process is followed, it will take time. Even to advertise a job, there should be a time limit to when the application process will be closed. Then open up to going through the applications and shortlisting a number, and from that number, cutting it up for final people you shortlist, or giving opportunity for other people to come in for a second interview because probably you have a feeling that they have not done well, but you think that they should, or there's something missing here. Probably they even done well, but there's something missing here. Let's give him a second chance. Because we want him or we want her. Or he have done very well, but something not right here. Let's try and pin this out. Let's let him come again. This is the process it takes and to this. But as he said that the interview was conducted by Dembaja, and if you look at Dembaja, I've listened to it, it's not impressive as he have been doing his job. Then allegations of preferential treatment. Foul relationship with Mayor Bensouda came under scrutiny as Gomez questioned whether her close association with the mayor influences her appointment. She acknowledged that she informed the mayor of her desire to work with him at KMC, but insisted that she went through the proper application process. Nevertheless, concerns were raised about whether the legal process which mandated that appointments should be made by public government service commission was bypassed in that process, which again, is another issue. I'm not sure whether that's where it should go or not, but in this case, so far, I think enough is proven that the appointment was done on based on nepotism. And which, again, as I always point to Gambians, our problem is not tribalism. Our problem is nepotism and corruption. Now, it continues to question about qualification. The Commission also dived into false qualification for the managerial position. An audit report presented as evidence revealed that Fal did not possess the qualifications and experience required under the KMC scheme of service for the PR manager's role. The auditors found that her highest academic credentials were a West Africa secondary school certificate examination and an IT certificate, which fell short of the qualification typically required for such senior positions. And as we said, it's definitely qualifications. Once they are mentioned that it's required for a position, it's very difficult to sideline it. It's very difficult to sideline. What process do you go to justify you sidelining in the process, it's something else. FAL did not dispute the findings but defend her sustainability for the job by emphasizing her practical experience. She cited her previous role, which included work as a presenter and marketer at Unique FM and PR experience at GAM Sense. Despite her defense, the audit findings suggested that the decision to appoint her as a manager did not align with standard hiring practice. Again, as I said, it's something in psychology they call the Peter principles. You see, we are all competent at certain level. At times, you might find the manager is not competent in doing other things because of that's not what the person is trained or taught. That's why it's important to determine the person, capability by way of, accreditation the person received or the proof of the person delivering. As PR is a skill. Some people can be very skillful, but how do you measure someone who have not gone through, who doesn't have the academic credentials? Some people have the academic distinct to a bachelor's or a master's or whatever it is, but they are not good at it because they are good at passing exams. You come to the city of London, you'll be surprised that many PR agents run by people who have not been to university. But check their background and what they have delivered. Check their background, what they have delivered. If you look at the background, you have to question. It's not that she's not competent, but she's not competent for the job. And to prove this, the HR manager testified to say that for many, you see, this is what creates nepotism. This is what creates. She was reprimanded with warning letters, repeated warning letters, which again point to the incompetency or the compromise of the HR manager. You cannot give, repeated warning letters. No, an action should be taken. Warning letters were given for absence from work without any reasonable or advance. Absence from work. You think if she have got the job on merit, not because of nepotism, she will risk it, and she will not be sacked? She will risk it, she will be sacked. But she will likely not risk it because of she needs a job and knows that she have to do the right thing because she have to come through the right way. The other warning came through what? Lateness, repeated lateness. Now, even the respect she should have for the male, if I vouch for you, even if you are qualified for something, I vouch for you not only because of your qualification. I vouch for it's because of your work ethics and the person you are, your competency which includes the integrity and all others. Now, if they turn out to say, well, look, the person you brought into the job place doesn't turn up to work, and she doesn't tell us any good reason for not turning to work. We have sent, probably there will be a verbal warning before even a written warning. But the HR read out a written warning. And lateness, repeated lateness for any given reasons. The HR written a warning letter. No. Now, because of now, she's abusing the privilege given to her or the abuse of the systems to give her the job. This is what it creates. Now, that questions the leadership of Talib Bensouda. This is Talib bringing himself into disrepute. Just as I said, based on the indications here, until Talib come out to testify, but based on the evidence here from audit reports or audit the things, this is what it's telling us. And based on her performance, he explained something else. But it went on to travel and responsibilities. Fall testimony also touched on 2019 trip to Dakar, where she accompanied Mayor Bensouda for a visa application to Canada. This the former PR manager explains that she was directed by the Director of Administration, Dembo Sane, to coordinate travel arrangements for the mayor, while she initially claimed that the coordinating such trips was part of her term of reference. She later acknowledged that her contract did not explicitly include travel coordination. Now, this is where, again, the conflict will come out from. Now, she's a public relations. I don't think public relations have anything to do with visa applications or visa processes. And for even the commission to say that not specificate, it's just to argue, it would not be in a TOR. That, oh, you are the PR these things, now you have to arrange for these things. No. Visas, I don't think so. I mean, there's a protocol officer for that. I mean, and other people, it should fall on. Then it continues to say, Gomez presented a memo from the mayor office requesting logistical support for the Dakar trip, which did not list Fall as participant. She maintained that her involvement was based on verbal instruction from the Director of Administration. Her shifting explanation regards her role on the trip raised further questions about the extent of her responsibility and the procedure followed. Again, I mean, I don't know what the administrative director would say about this, that she was given a verbal, but with the memo, she was not, she's not, how to call it, she's not on that memo. She was not listed on that memo. And waiting for further testimony, as the inquiry continues, Fall is expected to provide additional evidence, including documents related to her time as PR manager, her appearance next week May of her this thing. Yeah, this is what comes out of that testimony. And again, as we said, it's very important to observe the due processes and so on. It's not about Talib employing someone. Again, you have to understand the influence of the leader. Let us not just support someone blindly. This is not to, this is about the greater good, as I said. This should not be about partisan. This is not about partisan. It should be about the greater good. If it was anyone else in government, we hold some of you guys trying to defend this would be holding them to account. And someone said, Ben, that Talib got the right to employ anybody through. No, nobody have that right. The president is only given rights on the constitution to appoint and fire at certain level. I mean, to all levels for that matter, or certain sectors. In fact, he cannot fire them. He can appoint them, he can fire them. But even that is abuse. When we say that the president is given the constitution, say, oh, the president is given the right, you would expect the president to select a dropout to put him as the finance minister. There's a criteria for the finance minister appointment. He can go and appoint anybody from any party or non-party, but the person have to have certain criteria. I mean, meet certain qualifications for them to be appointed. I think that should be this. Let's move on to the second testimony, which it deals with Nuruddin Adams, or Nur Adams Dane, or protocol officer. Again, we are seeing a repeated pattern here with the appointment of Nur. Again, as we said, the case of Aissatou is a close relationship with Talib, a friend, campaign for Talib, supported Talib. In the case of Nuru, again, Nuru have testified that he was employed and he was a supporter of Talib. Now, he was appointed in 2018. But in the process of, again, the process of being appointed is very questionable. And they established a relationship that he was a supporter of Talib, and he went and got a job which was not advertised. How did he know about the job? Obviously, what we regard here as in corporate governance as inside information. Someone got the job from the inside without the job being advertised. Formalities at least advertise the job, give opportunity to others to come in and go through the process. And if the person meets it. In this case, the qualification of Nuru is not questioned for the job he's doing. He did something similar or previously, or have certain certificates that would qualify him to do this. Now, the point here is the process that he went through to get this job. Again, as I said, in politics especially, not even politics, in corporate governance, you see people would try and even move people they work with from another corporate body and to tell them, come over, because they want to work with them. Not that because they want to work with them so that they can do illegal stuff. No, they know their capabilities. They headhunt them. But headhunting, the person have to be qualified for the job. Headhunting would, yes, kind of said, okay, the job is even advertised, but I would do my recommendation. And the HR would consider that, oh, we got Ben here, and Ben wants someone who, his track record, they have, done something somewhere else, they have produced this much of profit for the company, or whatever it is. It's the mayor is a political appointee. He wants, someone, a protocol he can trust, he can, that can go part of that interview to say that this is, someone the mayor is looking at. But again, they have to brush through to see the other things. But again, when it comes to now, the delivery is where it's risky. Again, when you, in this sense, the evidence is not there, but look, from what have transpired, there's an influence. And it's rightly to say that the mayor have influenced this appointment. It's rightly to say, you might say, oh, where's the evidence? No. But in this case, it's, if not the mayor's, who else? Who else? But again, even further down, when we look at it, it's even more worrisome. It's more worrisome. Why is it so worrisome? Been appointed in 2018. By 2023, the protocol officer said that he deposits money directly, cash, to the mayor account. Cash to the mayor account. I just want people to think about this. Go and look at the money laundering, how it happens. Go and look at the money laundering laws. Why cash transactions are front of. And I tell you, because of Talib education background and everything else, Talib should be very aware. If this is a bad judgment, it's worrisome. If even it's just bad judgment, it's worrisome. Nuru explains that obviously he knows these things, and again, the job was not advertised. He went there and he was directed to the HR and technically got the job without an interview. He said, oh, I had an interview. The day I came and submitted, I had an interview. That's not an interview. Interviews don't work like that. You don't just come and hand over, oh, let's interview you, and who else was in the interview? What are the notes? No, they had an interview. Now, but as I said, the most worrisome here is depositing cash between 2018 to 2023 in private bank account, EcoBank. And there was a time it was a bit confusion. If you listen to the testimony, this testimony I listened to myself. It started with over $2 million, which from unknown source, according to the statement of the Mr. Dean, Nuruddin. Now, Nuru explains that around 2021, he went into a business to deal in motor vehicles. And the mayor gave him a loan of $2 million, which he is to pay back $2.5 million. Then the interest of the loan, personal loan from the mayor, she said is 500,000. Now, he said, part of that statement, he said he doesn't know the source of the money. 2, there's no legal agreement, according to Nuru, with the mayor for this money. This is worrying. Now, even a friend that, family member, let's say even family member. I emphasize on friend because but even a family member, you don't lend that amount of money, especially if you are a public officer, that the money would be paid into your account cash. That's why banks flag. If you have a regular income, when you apply to open a bank account, they will ask for where the income will be coming. You said your salary. What's your salary? 25,000, 100,000. Now, and the bank start to see transactions daily, weekly of certain amount coming into your account. It's not a business account. It's a private account, personal account. They will flag it. They will stop the freeze the bank, the thing, and flag it to investigate the source of the income. Cash being deposited, they will do that. Why would a mayor encourage a friend or support a friend by giving them cash of 2 million, separate payments of 1 million at a time? 1 million at a time. And Dean said that he gave him a loan. That he gave him a loan, 2 million. Now, Dean paying that loan to your private bank account without legal agreement, according to Dean. Again, if you, for Talib's level, education, experience, position and responsibility and everything, and even knowing that there's a government after you, I think your smartness, that's why I said, even your smartness should teach you that. This is not right. If you are to give him a loan, the money should not be in cash. $1 million should not be circulated in that manner, giving someone a loan. You have a bank account, transfer it from a bank account so that people can see the source of the income. I'm not saying that Talib cannot have his own 2 million or 5 million, 10 million. But I am talking about the process. Let us not be naive. He knows. The loan, today, I am not a public officer, but all my transactions are done knowingly with a paper trail for many reasons. For many reasons. I can give you receipts anytime because it will show in my statement. because I don't have any other source of income that people will be paying me cash. And in many instances, I prefer to tell you, put it through my account. It will register from whom it came from, for my peace of mind. If I to give loan to anyone, even if we live in the same house, I'm not going to take it out from my account. I'll make sure I transfer it, because I want the receipts. Not only even the agreement, not verbal or written. There's no amount of trust. That's the right thing to do. Especially in 21st century. Now, 2 million into that account, no verbal, no agreement according to the gentleman, and it's apparently it's a loan. That's why he is paying back that loan. So far, I think what the confusion was there, that where the 2 point, what's the 2.1? So far, probably 2.1 he have paid back to the this thing. He's still paying for the loan. Now, Talib would have to come on and explain the situation. But it's worrisome that he allowed even this situation to develop up to the point of it's now an issue to be discussed. It's not about Talib being a poor person or not. That's even prejudice. Corruption is not about poverty. It's about integrity. I know a lot of rich people who are corrupt to the core. I know a lot of poor people that I can entrust my life. It's not about poverty. It's about accountability. That's why my topic is about accountability. I just want the context. Today, if you change the name, think about, if you change the name, how are you going to look at it? If you feel that because you are supported, if you insulate yourself, insulate yourself and change the name of the person who did the transaction or the person alleged that have done the transaction here. How can you justify this, even if it's an error of judgment? Even if it's an error of judgment. Again, it's not about Talib is corrupt or not. It's a process. We are discussing the process. We are discussing this with merit. Can anybody explain why he is? That's why I said the other program I'll do on KMC would be the time he comes on, and we'll cover the rest. And then wait for the report to come, and we'll see how competent the report is. And how competent the recommendations are. We are not going to throw away the entirety what the local government commission does because of, it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt, but it's a process we are witnessing. Let's follow the process. If anything is wrong, Talib is capable of defending himself. He is capable of taking it to a court. But where the evidence are very clear, I think we should discuss that. Now, we move on. Finally, the travel. Mr. Nuruddin explained about the travel arrangement to apply for a visa. This is another point really where it's disturbing and disappointing. For application for a visa, because when it first came out in the commissions, most of us, I was made to believe that Talib did not go. Because all what is presented was about the people that went to Dakar by road. The driver, the PR manager, and the protocol officer. The three. Up to the point of people producing the memo saying, oh, these are the only three that traveled. But now the PR the protocol officer, Dean, is saying that him and the PR and the travel with the driver, obviously, who drove them to Dhaka to apply for this visa. But Talib too went by flight to Dhaka. How can you explain that? It's just not a waste of resources. If Talib want to travel by flight, let him go and apply for the visa. Does he need the PR? Does he need the protocol to apply for a visa? If he is present, why can't he take these things to do that? Most applications, I'm not sure, but I tell you, I suppose that most of what is to be done will be online. Then whatever you have to complete there, physically be interview or whatever, it's you. They're going to issue the visa. Your supporting documents and everything, your passport, you can carry with you to present it. You can do it yourself. But why include 3 other people? That's not only about error of judgment, but about the cost. About the cost. He's a leader, that's why he should know better. We should not lower the bar here. We should not lower the bar to say, look at the bar because of the councillor that was there or the president that was there. Our expectations should be higher of people that to lead us. People we aspire to see to lead us, or the people leading us. That's why accountability matters. The point was that this travel, you don't understand the essence of 4 people going to apply for a visa for 1 person. When that person is already there, the person could have done that and be paid for 2 nights, 2 nights or whatever. They stay for 2 nights, 2 days, 2 nights, which is where these things, and they got paid for that. But we have to be very careful here. I said this is about accountability. This is about accountability. This is about our country. We cannot be sitting there crying out loud that our people are suffering. We cannot talk about hospital failing, everything failing. When it is time to hold accountability, we want to be selective. Especially when those people aspire to run that country. You see, that's why I said we have to be very careful. This is one reason I don't belong to political parties. This is one reason I don't campaign for any individual. The day I would stand to campaign for an individual would be so much convinced of that person, integrity and everything above, competency and everything above. I don't want to take responsibility that I have convinced people to select. All I campaign for is for the systems to be right. Campaign for our democracy with these things and people to be free to make the choice. At the time of elections, if my rights are assured for me to vote, just as here, I have voted Conservative, I have voted Liberals, I have voted Labour, I have voted Green. All depends on my conviction. I will not be tied to anybody or any of these things to detriment of my people. And if we think that we can improve ourselves and progress without holding each other accountable, holding people in the opposition accountable, we are kidding ourselves. If we think that we can bring about change by only holding people who are opposed to us, not even holding ourselves accountable, that's why I disassociate in many things. I will engage people, we'll discuss politics, I will advise. I will not take any form of gratitude from anybody. Even praises from interest group, I take it with a pinch of salt. it doesn't get to my ego. Because I know myself more than the next person I am sharing the bed with. Then a stranger cannot praise me to the extent that it will get to my head or to my ego. Because I wake up and hold myself accountable. I go to bed and make sure I take account of my actions, my deeds. I sit on a platform for what I can impact for the betterment of our country. And this is my advice, which I have given in private and I given in open. Especially to the UDP that it matters. I tell you why. I left that, I did not put it in the introduction. The one reason, or the reason, Adama Barrow is bringing this local government commission. I'll tell you. Yes, he's trying to do it to muddy the waters, to say that, well, we are all corrupt. One side. But especially to Rahim Malik Law and Taliban Surah, he is targeting them to see or to expose the position of the UDP, one, or to build a leverage for these two people to abandon the UDP either quietly and this thing. It's not new. Go and look at Macky Sall tried this, many politicians, and he succeeded. I'm not saying he's going to succeed, but be careful of that. Now, UDP have to be careful how they position themselves into this. If they not, I tell you, they will lose a lot of respect from, even within UDP, the people that will only see the country. Especially on decided that would genuinely look at the things and listen to your advocacy. This is what they plan. That UDP have to know how to this thing. If they, it's not only about, oh, it's a, this thing. Look at the context. I'm looking at the context. I will not stand for anyone, for that matter. Even people I don't like to be taken advantage of. But I won't support anyone to the expense of my people. This should be really be very careful with this. The same goes to independence or some people that claim to be independents. Let them not fall for the Barrow trick. Let them not fall for the Barrow trick. To make it seem as, oh, let's have voter apathy. Let's just not give up. The entire country now is corrupt. Because look at the opposition, they had the local government, look at how corrupt they are. Because it's not enough to say that, oh, the people who are found to be corrupt are government appointees. Yes, there's an extent to that. But there's an extent what have been done, what did the political leader did, or where the political leader is called to account. We have to differentiate that. Let us not allow Barrow to just to brush it as it's an opposition corruption. And then the entire opposition is just corrupt. Yeah, I might be corrupt, but the opposition is corrupt. No. Let's make sure accountability matters in every aspect that we do. We hold the opposition accountable, but more so we hold the government accountable. It's not about politics. It's about accountability. Because you have to realize, I talk to all people from all political dispositions, but I talk to more about people that have no political lining, political party lining. And I can tell you the expressions. Disappointment. when you had this testimony, especially about the money. Because straight away, that's why I emphasize that smartness. They said, this is all definitely, how can you get yourself into this? How can you get yourself into this? That's why I say, I'm not saying that there's a corruption going on here, but it's, you have done something where you be called to question. Where you put yourself into dispute. You will not do that, especially for a politician. Especially for a politician. That's why I said we have to be careful. We don't place the bar at level of jamming or time of jamming. We don't place the bar at time of KMC chairman, APRC chairman. We don't put the bar there. The bar should be raised. Our aspiration should be far there. The aspiration is not for us, it's for the next generation. Gambia is far back. Far back. That's why we should not have tolerance for any form of misconduct. We should not have that tolerance, especially for people who aspire to lead us. Remember the executive power. As much as we put in our constitution clause or whatever it is, mechanisms to control the executive, they will still be powerful. And the only way to guarantee that, make sure that the persons or people that are going to occupy the most senior positions in society meant and are tested, are held accountable. We should be very careful. We should be very careful. The situation, we should look at the context. The situation, we should look at where the greater good is. And where someone is found wanting, regardless of. If Barrow wants to prosecute the cases that he selectively prosecutes, let him do that. But let him do it the right way. If he neglects to prosecute the others, we will go after him when he is not in position to control us. That's why it's important to make sure we can get him out. But we cannot get him out if we are selective ourselves. We are giving him an opportunity. We are giving him an opportunity. That's why if we want to lead our people, not only to point to what Barrow does wrong, but to give them solutions and to make them believe that we will deliver those. We can have the best of solutions. But if the incumbent can point to our weaknesses are these things, and people decide and say all politicians are the same. You see, this is what established politicians do. And that's why Pastif sidelined the entire system, the entire old establishment, and start to build a new establishment. You have to have that audacity, that courage to take on matters. Say that this is what is happening and we are moving away from that, regardless who it is. Guys, as I said, that's all we're talking about today. Inshallah, Saturday, we'll be live on a new platform with Alaji Salu. That's Alaji Salu's platform, which I am still part of participating, being interviewed on my take on that will be Askan Gambia. Askan Gambia, you find the thread on I'll advertise it Saturday on my timeline. But we will talk about then the IEC and other issues within the IEC. But today is just to discuss the local government and accountability, and especially within the KMC. Guys, I've not ignored your comments, which I will always go through and take and digest and stuff like that. I'm not just good at reading and whilst presenting. I like to have that focus to present. I get distracted and might just sidetrack. out of topic or take longer time. I don't like these things going. I mean, even over the hour, but it's almost 2 hours now. Thank you very much, and welcome your comments, and we'll discuss it. And people that some of you guys that might disagree here, which some of you guys I talked to, we can have the discussion again or another day. Thank you very much, and have a good day.